Hello YouTube, welcome back to Tamara's Tarot and Oracle channel. Today I wanted to share with you a new deck of mine that is actually among one of my favorites and a deck that I highly recommend. If you haven't gotten your hands on it, it's certainly a deck to look out for and maybe try out for yourself. And that is the Aquarian Tarot. It is by no means a new deck. It's been out since 1970 when David Palladini first created this deck. But then it was reissued or republished by US Games in I think it's 2011. Let me just check. 2016, actually. And it is a classic. It's been around for decades and for a good reason. It follows the Rider-Waite closely, but it gives a much more in-depth, intimate, accessible, usable tarot deck. So I've never truly connected with the Rider-Waite. So for me, this deck is just a breath of fresh air. So we have the standard size and the tin version. Okay. And I'll just show you the size difference so you can see for comparison. Okay, so quite a bit smaller. Now the tin version has a lighter blue back and the larger version, as you can see, is a bit deeper. Otherwise, they're pretty much identical, except for the fact that the large standard size, her face is faded. So I guess when it's been stretched out, it's not as saturated or pronounced as the tin size, which is really the only downfall of this deck, I find, because she is my favorite queen in the deck. I just love her face. So I was a little bit disappointed when I saw her face so faded in the standard size tarot deck. They are very ghost-like in a sense. I don't even think of it as that. I think of it more as ethereal. And I do like that aspect of this deck very much. I'll just quickly show you that they both come with 2 extra cards, both tin size and standard size. So we have the title card, as you can see. I just noticed this now, actually. The font is different on the title cards of the tarot and the tin size. I mean, it's not like I didn't notice it, but I didn't really pay attention to it until right this second. And then we have a card talking about David Palladini, who created this deck. So it's just darker typeface, easier to read and see. So that's it. Those are the 2 extra cards, and there we go. And then they, of course, come with their little white book. But unlike the traditional LWB, little white book, this folds out like a pamphlet, leaflet. And all the information you need is on here. And of course, if you ever want to go more in depth, you can find just about, no, not even just about, you can find everything and anything and everything online and in books. Okay, how is this not folding back? Okay, we'll fix that later. And for the standard size, more of an accordion. Okay, so it just has, again, all the quick synopsis of each and every card of the deck. Jeez, what's going on here? Okay, this will do. So I don't have the deck in order. I've used them both a lot in the last week. I got this one first because this was readily available on Amazon Prime, whereas the standard size is not. So I ordered it actually from a local shop, and it came after a few days after ordering. So I'm really excited to have it, especially after. Now, I had this deck once before a few years back, and I never really gave it the attention that it deserves. So I passed it along. And I'm so happy now that I've rediscovered the Aquarian Tarot. And you know, playing with the tin size is awesome. I highly recommend it, but seeing it in the larger size is awesome. And you can get the original Aquarian Tarot decks off eBay as one example, and they are reasonably priced. I mean, pricey, but not like crazy. There are definitely decks out there that I think are more reasonable. So here's just a quick little sneak peek. I love the font, very Art Deco, a little bit of Art Nouveau. So Art Nouveau is more like stencily, like frilly and softer lines and lots of line work and lots of detail. And I find it's a little bit too much for my brain. But Art Deco is solid, more solid, bolder lines. And this deck is more minimalistic. It has more of a limited color palette. As you can see, a lot of white backgrounds. I feel like that leaves, sorry, my fingers are all in the way. I feel like that leaves a lot more to be left up for interpretation, and it really does allow your intuition to take over. So I love the mauves, you know, the pinky purples and the flowers. It's very pretty, very feminine feeling. And it's very fall-like to me because of the color palette, so his face is also a bit muted. But a lot of them have more defined features. And the peacocks are really cool. I like the way he's designed his peacocks. Just a more up-close, intimate Rider-Waite version, just like the Morgan Greer, much the same as Hanson Roberts. So, you know, you're going to get that more modernized take on the traditional Rider-Waite. So if the Morgan Greer doesn't appeal to you, or the Hanson Roberts, then this might. Or if this one doesn't, one of those might. So I used to have the Morgan Greer. I've made videos on it. Sorry for the glare, guys. And it just didn't resonate with me after a while, so I passed it along. I do have the Hanson Roberts. It's very cutesy. It's a charming little, you know, sweet little deck, but I don't really connect with it on a deeper level. But this deck, however, I do, and I find it more sophisticated and elegant, and you know, this feels, it's just like I'm living in the Great Gatsby movie premiere, 1920s. Look at all that bold line work. Very Art Deco. It's a bit Art Nouveau, you know, with the flower work. Yeah, so it's got a soft palette. It's zoomed in. Look at that, very Art Deco. Lots of interesting shapes. Can definitely, you know, add to your readings. I like how defined their faces are. I wish they were all more consistently like that. I like that they're gazing into one another's eyes. You know, there's nothing going on in the background, but it really makes you focus on the forefront of the card, the foreground. And some of them do have a colored in background, so they're not all just white and, you know, sparse in the backdrop. But you definitely do get a sense of this loss that this character is experiencing. So this is a really great deck for beginners. Absolutely. I love a lion in my strength card, but I don't mind this one. I like the dog very much. And I love that, like, movie premiere with the headlights, or those, so not headlights, spotlights. And I like that. Very epic, very epic. So I'm not super into this devil card now. I love, like, every card feels like a poster. I love it. Aesthetically, it's very pleasing to my eyes. And the Queen of Swords. So you can see it's more zoomed in. Anyway, so this is David Palladini's Aquarian Tarot. It's a classic. I highly recommend it. Whether you get the tin version or the standard, his face is very muted. It's a little bit more defined in the tin version. I'll show you. Let me see if I can find it quickly. I love the lovers. It's really the same. Like, there really isn't a noticeable difference between the two. There are walkthroughs where people have compared both. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong page. I left Temperance. I'm not sure if I passed by that in the standard size. I get that card a lot. See if I can quickly find. Oh, I love the Ace of Rods or Wands. Beautiful. So yeah, it has a very feminine feel to it. I feel like it's more sophisticated. High Priestess. I love the peacock for the star. What a great interpretation for the star card. Okay, let's see if I can find it. The page of, the Queen of Cups. I'm not sure if I passed by her either just now. Very slight differences, if any, and only in very few cards, but you're good with either or. The tin size is just as good. I love having both. Here we go. Very quickly before I sign off, you can see his face is a little bit more defined in the tin size, much the same as the Queen of Rods. So very, very slight little nuanced differences, but the cardstock quality, very nice. Like US Games, they know what they're doing. It's not overly cardboardy like some of their decks. It's good. It's durable. You can wipe down the surface of the cards if you ever needed to. It's just a great little shuffling. Like, it doesn't rifle shuffle amazingly well because they are smaller. I don't, however, love to do that to my cards. I feel like it bends them too much. If I can maneuver them like so, then that's what I do. And even the larger size, it shuffles beautifully, but I also much prefer to just shuffle them like so. It's a slightly different card stock, but also really durable. You cannot go wrong with this deck. It's a $30 deck. I'm in Canada, so $30 Canadian. And then shipping, it's ridiculous. So I had to order it from Toronto, and I live just in one of the suburbs outside of Toronto, and it was like $12 extra just to ship, but it isn't close enough for me. I have a car, but I just knew that I wouldn't have been able to get it for a little while if I were to go down there physically. So I was impatient. I wanted to have this already, even though I had the tin version. I just had to have it. So I ordered it and I said, all right, I will suck it up and pay the extra $12. But geez, man, like I don't even live driving wise, it's probably a good hour. Traffic, it's insane in the city. But for it to be so much, shipping just sucks. But yeah, anyway, highly recommend. Highly recommend. It's a classic for good reason. Great little tin, sturdy. One day, I hope they make large tins, but makeplayingcards.com, you can find tins and you can custom make them too. So that's it, guys. So that's the Aquarian Tarot by David Palladini. Great Rider-Waite deck. Excellent for beginners, more seasoned readers as well, of course, but it's a super duper deck. And I just said that. So bye, guys. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you all soon.